Michael? The 12th edition of the COSAFA Women's Championship is officially here, where 14 teams have assembled, and it's going to be one officially for the books. We've never seen these 14 associations come together for this historic competition. We have 21 matches, 14 teams, but only one team will reign supreme. Bagaitso dumelang, Lina la ka kitumeleng, Kgosigadi ya Gavanda, and I'm set to be your pitchside princess. And you're probably wondering as to why I'm your pitchside princess standing indoors. That's simply because there is 80% chances of rain out in Gqeberha. The windy city today decided to be wet, so therefore it's going to be very interesting to see as to how this is going to influence the game that we're seeing. As I said, we have 14 teams that have officially assembled. One thing that's interesting is we have the reigning champions Malawi present. We have 7-time champions, that being South Africa, and also rookies Seychelles, along with others who are all in line looking to go for glory. The curtain raiser today is set to see Eswatini go up against the Seychelles. Eswatini making their 10th appearance within this competition. They go up against Seychelles, who for the very first time want to introduce themselves not only to the world but also specifically to this region. It's going to be rather interesting, as I said, that the conditions are going to be influenced by the rain, so that's probably will also have an influence as to what the outcome of the result of the game will be. Well, this is when the teams did arrive, really confident for the Seychelles. They've got players that are up to 15 years of age. Really, really exciting. Coach Chris says that he had to work really hard to put them together and also to get their minds within the game, because as I said, it is a start for them, so first-time jitters are a real thing. Well, this is their changing room. This is the kit that will don, a kit that they want many people to remember. They're here not just for a good time, and hopefully it's going to be a long time, because they want to make it all the way to the very end, as we know that there is that silverware at the end of the competition. Well, Eswatini arrived 10 times for them. 10th time. Well, this is the Seychelles, rather. As I said, it's their first time, obviously, in that bus. I wish I was the fly on the wall just to find out as to what the atmosphere is like. But the sense that I got when they walked through the tunnel was the fact that they're really high and confident. And if anything, they're wearing that underdog tag with so much grace. Well, let's go to the coaches to find out as to what they have to say up against, well, for this first game. As we know, this is the curtain raiser, one that will be remembered by many, but many will say that it's not about how you start, it's rather about how you finish. But how their start, because it is a competition, will be very important. Here's Coach Bongani, first time coaching Eswatini's national team. Let's hear as to how he's lined up his troops. Coach Bongani, welcome to COSAFA 2024, an extended competition. How are you feeling?
Feeling really great. As a first experience for me, I think I will learn, because I've mostly I've just come to get more knowledge over this competition.
You talk about it being a first time for you. How has that how was that incorporated in your preparation?
Being the first timer in such a competition means preparations is not that different from team level, of which I'm used to. This is a team. The only difference is that it's a national one. This one, otherwise it's a team. So meaning the preparations were not like different from what is expected from team preparation.
Coming in, obviously, Eswatini, this becomes their 10th time within this competition. The biggest challenge has been going past the group stages. Let's talk about your preparations and what the objective is for your side.
Okay, it's a challenge. It's a mountain to climb, but we are ready to learn, even if it can take 15 to 20 years. But we are still learning in a learning cave. Our objective, honestly, is to go past the group stages, like you are saying. But then we are aware of the facts, because we don't need to run away from facts. In our group, we are the lowly ranked team, and then that's a message on its own. It means we have to learn from the big guns and see where we can take this tournament to.
How motivated are your players?
very, very excited to be part of this this year's tournament, and also being new as having a new coach as well. Seemingly it excites them as well, meaning they are ready to learn even more and more.
You're in a very tough group. You find yourself with Namibia, South Africa, but then you start against Seychelles. It's their first time. Would you believe that this is the perfect place to start and the perfect team to start against?
It is a perfect team because it is we are rooted as number 4 with regards to rankings, and then they are number 3, meaning they are close rivals, which means we can gauge ourselves looking into them and see where we can take like going forward to the other 2 guns. How can we perform? But this one is the most important one. We need to do something about it.
And just finally, Coach, how much do you know about Seychelles? What information have you gathered about them?
Very little. It is that they are almost like us. They will be sitting at the back. I'm not sure about today because probably they are saying, wow, we are playing minors, so why do we have to sit? They are good on transitions, but I think we have prepared well for that.
Well, Coach, 10th time lucky, all the best.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Well, Coach, first time jitters. How are you feeling about this competition and just being here with Seychelles for the first time?
I think it's a huge milestone for the Seychelles team. So the venue is really beautiful, and I think it's a great place to start our campaign.
You've been with the team for 1 year. Tell me the progression and what you've worked on.
I think when the first time I set foot on the island, I'm like, oh wow, we have a lot of things to work on, and there are various challenges where we have overcame. So I think it's an exciting opportunity for us to be here. It shows the growth of women's football in Seychelles, and we hope to bring out our very best here to let the world know how far we have progressed.
We talk about that progression. The competition needs you to progress as well. What is the mandate for Seychelles in this competition?
Sorry, meaning?
Was your objectives?
Oh, okay. So it's the first time in our competition, right? So I mean, first time facing the regional teams. So for us, we have no specific goals. However, we are going in there with a winning mentality, and we'll see what happens.
Let's talk about the group of players that you've assembled for this competition.
So my group of players consists of some veterans and mostly young ones. So we have a couple of 15-year-olds. So I mean, it's exciting to give them such an opportunity to be on the big stage with the big guns, right? So I hope that through this tournament they gain all this experience.
Well. Good afternoon and welcome to GQ. And this is where we welcome you all over across the African continent to join us for our 2024 COSAFA Women's Championship, the HollywoodBets COSAFA Women's Championships. We are out in GQ, Ekabeja as you would like it, windy and cold as you like it and as you know it. And this afternoon, to kick off our 2 o'clock game, we welcome Eswatini coming through as the hosts, as the home game, and of course they face Seychelles, who are debutants at this year's 2024 COSAFA Women's Championships. And of course, alongside me to join me and just chat on these live visuals is Mahlomula Morage. And of course, jitters in that dressing room and in that lineup for debutants, especially Seychelles. Welcome.
Good afternoon to you, wherever you may be watching this lovely broadcast. Yes, we at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. It's the HollywoodBets COSAFA Women's Championship 2024, and as you can see on your screen, it's the Seychelles against Eswatini. Amanda, you would know better. You've been in that position before. The jitters, the nerves. Time for talking is over. The coaches have done their talking, and now it's all left up to the players to go and do the business on the field.
Yep, it's business. At the end of the day, it's business as usual. But of course, I think Eswatini are very familiar faces to the tournament. What do you expect coming out from them? Coach Bongani, this is his debut as the head coach of Eswatini. What do you think they can offer this time around? You know, over the years, what I've seen in this tournament is that the island nations have struggled a bit, and I don't know if that's going to be the case this time around. But also bear in mind that
for the first time ever in this competition, all 14 nations, all 14 COSAFA nations are represented, which is a record in itself. So I think Eswatini might have an edge over newcomers Seychelles, but all of that we'll see in the upcoming 45 minutes.
Yeah, and of course, lining up to lead the two teams, the senior referee, Akona Makalima from South Africa, Kwimbira as well from Malawi, and the second assistant referee, Unandi Pamenze as well from South Africa, the fourth official, Enese Kumbu, and the match commissioner, Elizabeth Decor from South Africa, and of course, the general coordinator of this match this afternoon is Nwabisa Mavuso of RSA. It'll be interesting to see how these two teams really match up this afternoon as they kick off Group A as the opening fixture for this day. And of course, lining out now for the two national teams. We will just take a moment to pause as we start off with the home team, that is the Eswatini national anthem.
And now, the national
That is the
anthem.
national anthem of Eswatini. And now to welcome the anthem of Seychelles. And there we have it. Finally, now that the national anthems have been done and dusted, both teams go into the greetings, official greetings. And I think, Mashamula, after this, it will definitely be who wants it the most.
Absolutely, the first game of the tournament is always an important one. Every coach will tell you, every player will tell you that if you do well in your first game, then things will run smooth. Because if you look in the group, especially, you've got very
An interesting lineup.
An interesting lineup of Eswatini. You know, of Hananile, Ngampalala. You can see these players that will definitely give a good run for Eswatini. We don't know whether Seychelles actually party or they are newcomers, so it will be quite interesting to see what they bring to the fore. And especially looking at the match officials, it's quite, we need to applaud COSAFA for bringing the likes of Akona Makalima, who's a FIFA accredited referee for being here. I mean, she was doing the Super Cup just the other day in Saudi Arabia. So to have her here, it's really is really exciting, because it means she will be able to not only help the players but also her fellow officials in terms of elevating their standards.
Yep, no, absolutely. And I think having Akona here with her experience is definitely going to augur well. And if we take a look at the Seychelles, now the starting 11 from the Seychelles, the coach, Chris, actually did mention that she has a little bit of a mix of the youth vibrancy but also some of the experience, and is looking at, I guess, Captain Pascalina as well to be the one who's leading the team and just really giving them. She wants to compete. She says she wants to keep up with the intensity as first timers of the tournament.
Absolutely. The pressure is on Eswatini, by the way, because these ones are just newcomers. They're coming here, they want to do what they can do, and if they get a win against Eswatini, why not? Because as I said, it's the first match, and every team wants to do well in the first match, so that the remaining two matches become sort of a breeze for each and every team in this tournament.
Yep. Two teams now just dismantling their team huddles. Eswatini just still trying to get their last prayers, their last words of encouragement. And of course, referee for the afternoon, Akona Makalima, looks at a stopwatch, ready of course to kick us away. But I'm really interested, Mahlomola, to really see what Eswatini has in store in terms of just their exposure at the tournament and what the potential or the purpose of the tournament is or has had an impact on them.
Absolutely. I mean, over the years they've been here. They don't remember them getting out of the group. So they've got a tough one in South Africa coming later in the tournament. But for now, what's in front of them is the Seychelles, and that's where they need to focus on. And then after that, we know that there's going to be, what's the other team in the group?
Namibia, South Africa.
Namibia, South Africa. So it's going to be quite important for the Seychelles to actually try and stamp their authority early on. But I see Eswatini doing that more. But let's wait and see. It's just started. I think the players for now, for the next 10-15 minutes, they'll be sizing each other. If they can get a goal in there, why not?
Yep, it'll be very important for either of the teams to get a good start, especially in these opening stages of the match. Those set pieces will definitely come in handy as well, usually when the game is very tightly contested.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, you were speaking about Eswatini. I mean, in the last 5 tournaments, they've only ended in the group stages in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2023, and 2022, and even last year. So they'll be hoping that this year it's a different kettle of fish altogether.
Yep, and this is what we're looking forward to. Just those physical battles in that midfield, really contesting for that ball possession. Here's another set piece, well flown into the box. Yep.
Oops. All right, keep almost spilled it there, but saved by the referee. And Amanda, what's your take on these players playing in such a magnificent venue, the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium? I was talking to the coach of South Africa yesterday when they came here a little later. She was saying she's in awe as a coach that it will be her first time here. What about these players now?
Absolutely, and it's such an interesting conversation, Clocks, because a couple of weeks ago actually drove down from Joburg to Mpumalanga to watch TS Galaxy become the first team in the HollywoodBets Super League that is actually playing at a 2010 FIFA accredited World Cup stadium.
Yeah, that clearly shows you that women's football is on the rise on this continent, and as we see that Eswatini is attacking. Let's see if something can come out of this, because they've been camping in that Seychelles 18 area box, but let's see now, is anything going to happen here? Yeah, oopsie.
I think these are some of the aspects of the game that Eswatini would really want to improve on. They're dominating much of that ball possession, camping in the opposition's half, but it's just always just finding a teammate with a good pass But maybe to go back to what you were saying about Coach Maud, I think them too, as South Africa coming into this tournament, lots of pressure of course, but the quality of the pitch will really allow them to really showcase what they have in store.
No, absolutely. I know we're going to talk about them more in the next match starting at 5 o'clock. But remember, South Africa had a tough one last edition of this tournament, only managing the group stages. So the real pressure is on them. Oopsie, as we see Eswatini scoring number 7 there. Feliwe Thandazile Nkambule getting that goal for Eswatini. We did say that this match, if it gets a goal, things are going to happen. So let's wait and see. Is this the first goal, or will the Seychelles return and equalize?
Feliwe Nkambule, the goal scorer, opening goal scorer of this match. And once again, we spoke about Eswatini just camping in the opposition half. A well lobbed cross in there. Goalkeeper should have done well. Goalkeeper Paris should have done well just in terms of handling. But because of the wet surface,
very terrible mistake by the goalkeeper there. The wet surface and inexperience, remember. It's their first time here, so such things are perhaps to be expected. Let's see if, as I said, whether Eswatini can get more and just basically be comfortable as we head into the halftime match.
Yep, team captain Nkambule just getting that one for Eswatini. Now they will look to be a little bit more comfortable and ease into the game with the pressure now off their shoulders and hoping to dominate this match.
Of course, that's what they wanted to do, and that's what they were doing, in fact, in the early stages of this match. And we could see another goal here. There we go. Nope. The defense of Seychelles clears nicely. But you can see that the Seychelles perhaps just taking part here. They're not really playing. They can't even get into the Eswatini half. So one can perhaps likely expect more goals to come from Eswatini here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Coach Chris as well from Seychelles, she alluded to the fact that she still has almost 15-year-olds in her team. So balancing that youth vibrancy and the experience will definitely take a bit of time. But she says they want to make sure they keep up with the intensity as debutants.
Yeah, that's key, because I was at the Sasol League National Champs not so long ago, and there were 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds. Now, if you have them here already in the national team, that clearly shows that well, by the time they get to professional football clubs, they will have all the experience that they need, and they could be ready to even move abroad.
Seychelles now really trying to work out of their own half as well.
Yeah, but I must say I'm a bit impressed with their touches in the last 3 minutes or so. They've really had some touches, and they even have just put Eswatini under pressure.
Ngozo just apologizing there to her teammates, taking that one or sending it off for a throw-in.
And there was really no need for her to do that. She was not under pressure. She could have just controlled the ball and just played it nicely and started the attack for Eswatini. But unfortunately, I think she panicked and she just threw the ball out.
That Eswatini defense will have a lot to deal with. I mean, leading up to this tournament, they played 3 games. I think that was the last COSAFA they played, the group stages, and they really didn't do well. And part of their problems was defending set pieces.
Let's see if they can do well here. It's a corner for the Seychelles. Can they get something out of this match, early in the match?
A well lifted ball, dealing very well with that set piece that is Eswatini.
I think that's the first strike there from Seychelles. We haven't seen anything from them, so clearly they really trying to settle in the game, and maybe in the next 5-10 minutes we could see a settled Seychelles, and maybe, just maybe, they can give Eswatini a run for their money.
Interesting about both teams coming into this matchup, they played games, 3 or 4. Seychelles did really well by preparing well, played 4, lost all 4, conceded 12 goals. Eswatini, on the other hand, they lost COSAFA. They also conceded 12 goals.
Whoa, that's a huge number of goals to concede at this level. And if you come across teams that can score goals, it means that tally is going to increase. But for now, Eswatini is still leading by a goal to nil just before the 10-minute mark.
A good start from Eswatini. I think in their previous tournaments, having to even score first has been something very rare. That is, I think, for me, a very positive for Eswatini coming back in this tournament. That is a good objective, to score first and possibly to win the match.
No, absolutely. And I think what this group has, if you look at this group rather, you'll see that any team that's going to play Seychelles, they probably are thinking they've got 3 points already. But as you can see, you'll need to work a little bit for it. There's Eswatini, they've already scored their first goal. So can they get another one? Or can the Seychelles pull one back and set this game really on fire?
Gambule with a beautiful cross ball.
That was a very powerful strike, and I must say, good reaction by the keeper there. She almost spilled it like she did the one that led to the first goal. But look at that. Just 10 and then that strike, very strong strike. But the keeper, as I said, spilled it, but recovered nicely and quickly to ensure that it doesn't lead to a goal.
Yeah, powerful strike there from Ngampalala. Even in the last campaign of the COSAFA Championship, I thought she was a standout player. Nkambule as well, in that front three, they always seem to be very deadly. Now, having realized that the Seychelles goalkeeper, Paris, is not really that good in the handling, I foresee some more shots coming in.
Absolutely, and you can see that the strike force of Eswatini, they're just standing on that line and waiting for that through ball to ensure that they get as close to the Seychelles goals as possible.
Once again, Seychelles, their attempts being dispossessed. It's a turnover ball, and there's that through pass once again. Eswatini will really want to hold that line and just try and look for that long ball over Seychelles' last back four to really run onto.
No, absolutely. I'm actually surprised that their forwards are not using that line wisely, because they can see that, first of all, the defense of the Seychelles is not that experienced, number one, and secondly, they are a bit slow. So they should capitalize on that and ensure that they get a goal or two.
Yes, Eswatini just judged off that offside. Here's the ball once again coming from the likes of Sikotse, bypassing that midfield, looking for that ball over the top of the likes of Ngampalala. Just judged for an offside.
That was a good call there by the referee. Well spotted, I must say.
I actually wanted to ask you, Mahlomula, about some of the innovations of COSAFA. We spoke about the referees, Akona sharing experience, but we hear something about VAR.
Yeah, what I heard is that VAR will be used in this tournament, which is a plus. But remember, it was used in the previous edition, but it's going to go live in the semis. For now, it's just been used as a test to also assist the referees to get in line with this very magnificent tool for some. That is, if it goes your way. But if it doesn't go your way, obviously, we all think VAR is not good enough. But yeah, they'll be using VAR from the semi-finals, as we see that goal by Eswatini that has them in the lead 1-0.
Yeah, Captain Kambule acknowledging her teammates, working very hard to make sure that she gets that second ball and converts it into the back of the net.
It makes me wonder, Amanda, that already it's 12 minutes gone. So as Eswatini managed to get that first goal, they could have, by now, looking at the Seychelles structure, should have at least grabbed another one or two. But the longer it goes for them, the more frustrated they will be, and the more Seychelles will be settled.
Yep. Those are the fouls that Eswatini would really want to evade. And the yellow card just given there for that midfielder, Shabangu. Ngozo, my apologies. Ngozo is the one who's seeing that yellow card. And these are some of the tackles that they need to be mindful of. The surface is a little bit slippery, and therefore they need to tread a little bit cautiously.
We're still so early in the game. You don't want a yellow card. You don't want a player being cautious so early in the game, because it means that going forward in the game, they become too cautious and are unable to play their own game, because they focused on the yellow card, that if I get another yellow card, I'm going to be sent off, and our team or my team will be a player down. You know, it's quite interesting that Eswatini in the last 6 editions, they've been ever present. That is why I said to you earlier, I'm expecting them to actually do better than the Seychelles. But so far, this one goal, well, it is a lead, but it's not good enough, because if Seychelles get a goal, then it's going to be big problems for Eswatini.
Kimberly from Seychelles, jersey number 10, seems to be the one who's a little bit of that live wire in that midfield, trying to pull the strings.
That was a Tara pass, a very good pass, but the Seychelles defense, have they recovered? Oh yes, they managed to clear that ball nicely. It could have been a dangerous ball, but here we see now that the Seychelles has recovered, and look at them, they're now putting Eswatini under pressure.
The likes of Moustache, Pierre as well. They just seem to be starved of that supply up front.
Yeah, and look at that, running onto that ball. There's only one, if you look at the structure, there's only one player of Seychelles up front, and then 3 in the middle, and the rest 2, 4, 6 at the back. What structure are they playing? Will they be able to get goals using the structure?
It's a difficult one in terms of formations. It looks like a 4-5-1. They want to be solid in defense, but also overload that midfield, which I think Eswatini has really tried to manage. But that's where I think you get the creativity of Moustache number 17. I think she's brilliant. But of course, they need Kimberly to be on the ball. That's just number 10. And maybe finally feed. I think a Pierre who is explosive in terms of pace. She's the lone striker up front.
Free kick there for Seychelles. Will they get something out of it? It was a handball there.
Yep.
So will the Seychelles get anything out of it? It's a free kick maybe in the game.
Yep.
Well cleared there by Eswatini. Can they do something up front? As I said to you earlier, if Eswatini leaves them, they're getting settled, and you can see that they are not fearful anymore. They're becoming braver and braver, the Seychelles, because when they started, you could see that they weren't really sure of what they were doing. But you can see now they're starting to have some structure and starting to play a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ignore the first-time jitters. As first-timers Seychelles, I think 16 minutes now on the clock, they should really be finding their footing, and maybe the ball possession favoring them now in the latter stages as compared to Eswatini.
No, absolutely, those jitters are key, because once you out of them though, you could be a strong and powerful player. So 16 minutes gone, as you said, and Eswatini, I think by now, as I said, they should have had at least another goal or something. But you can see that Seychelles are really saying, we're not done yet, we're not out yet, so let's go and let's try and get a goal to ensure that we get something out of this match.
Eswatini really trying to build up from the back. And this is where the confidence comes in now. You've got a goal ahead. Now you can really implement your game plan.
Yeah, absolutely, but you gotta do something that we've practiced. It looked a bit messy there, but build up from the back. I would have expected a better one, because here we are now that the Seychelles has the ball. You know, like I said to you, Amanda, if you look at the Seychelles, they now slowly moving towards the Eswatini goal mouth area, and should they get closer, will they be able to get that much needed goal?
As short as she is, Alicia, number 4, she's doing a great job in that defense, and I think marshalling that line to make sure that they just push up a little bit to squeeze in and squeeze Eswatini from that space.
She's fighting hard. She's fighting hard. I mean, her size aside, she's really in the walls there and making sure the head team is intact at the back.
Yeah, another offside from Eswatini. 3 offsides now to the latter. They are making inroads, but just not really timing the dance to perfection.
Absolutely not. As I said, they always have 3-4 persons up front, but they not timing their runs perfectly, and that is why they forever caught offside.
Once again, they go for Ngampalala on her left side. Brilliant left footer.
Yeah,
but this one just really not finding the team captain. They want to try and get those cross balls because they're identifying spaces out wide and want to utilize those spaces to attack.
Yeah, that left foot reminds me of several players. We do Rabal at Sundowns, Karabo Dlamini at Sundowns, Wendy Shongwe at University of Pretoria. Very wonderful left-footed players.
Gabby Salgado as well.
Gabby Salgado at JVW.
This looks much better. Every time they get to Mustashi on the ball, number 17, they look like they're trying to put something together. Kimberly as well, jersey number 10, that midfield looks like has great technical ball-skilled players from the Seychelles.
Absolutely, and that's what I've been saying, that the longer the game stays like this, we're the 20th minute now, the longer the game stays like this, the more Seychelles becomes settled and composed. And as you can see, they now right at the edge of the Eswatini goal mouth, which didn't happen in the early stages of the match. Ooh, that was a wonderful strike there. Great strike there.
Yep. That's Mustashi Bean chanting her name because she's just been that person in that midfield trying to pull the strings together. And I think her combination with Kimberly, they go for that triangle, getting those combination passes. She picks up the second ball, a powerful shot, forcing the goalkeeper to go on the right. But of course, just missing the target.
And you've been talking about her, and from the look of things, she's the likely one to score for the Seychelles. And with that strike, if she had connected it well, we could be talking a different story right now.
Yep. Maybe at like 21 minutes of the match. I think as a coach, Chris, she would be really happy to see that Seychelles have really kept up with the intensity, and of course, medical attending to that injury.
Yeah, and Coach Bongani Makukulu from Eswatini should be worried that 21 minutes gone, only one goal from his side. He'll be expecting more. And as coach of you must be worried when your key player, Mustache, is at Mustache, yes, that she's down. You would want her to be up so that she can continue with the game, because she's been a live wire in this match.
I wonder if Samira Mustache, the captain, and Keisha Mustache are actually related.
I wonder if Amanda Dlamini
and Andy Dlamini
are related.
It'll be interesting to find out. Coach Bongani just, I'm sure, trying to look at that tactical board and trying to reorganize, because I'm sure they're understanding and seeing the game as we are. They're dominating the ball position.
In fact, look at that setup, what they're doing. They're actually doing tactics there.
Yeah.
They actually discussing what the game should be like, which is a clear indication that they're not happy with the scoreline as it is. They want better from their side. And do not be surprised if any changes come from this, because you can see that they're moving those water bottles as markers, as their players, to say we should be doing this and that.
Yeah, very intentional. I think they're identifying the threat and now want to make sure that that midfield is really tight and locked in.
Oh, that was a pull there. Very unusual one. Sometimes
you have to take one for the team, eh?
Absolutely, and that's what she did. She'll be lucky not to get yellow from Akwana Kalima.
Yeah.
I think that was a teaching moment there to say, hey, don't do that again. You'll be in my books next time.
Yep.
Wow, well taken by the keeper there. Remember the 2 balls that came her way she spilled, but this one she held on tightly. As I said, the whole team is getting a lot of confidence as the game was on.
Good confidence if it starts with your goalkeeper making sure that she gets a good grip of the ball. It will give the defenders in front of her a little bit of confidence as well.
It's not called the last line of defense for nothing. You know, as a midfielder, if your goalkeeper is solid, then you completely relax and you're able to play your own game. But if your keeper is leaky, then it becomes a bit of a challenge, because you don't want to go too much forward, as you may have to track back quickly, come and defend. Ball given away there by Eswatini. Let's see how it goes. It looks like it's a dangerous one. Oh, the defense clears again. Eswatini, they no longer coming strongly at the Seychelles. It's now the attacks are far and few between.
Yep, as we see Ngampalala just going in for that shot, forcing a corner. Here's a first set piece actually for the Seychelles to deal with.
Let's see how they deal with this one. Are they ready for this? Can they keep Eswatini out? Well, unfortunately, nothing came of this one, and you see the Seychelles defending with everything they have. Alicia Mataki doing the most there, and showing that no danger comes through.
Yeah. Stern talking to there from referee Akona to the captain. A great pickup from Mustache in that midfield.
Again, there's that attack again by the Seychelles, which didn't happen in the early stages of the match. What we see now, as I said, they're starting to be settled, and you can see that when they move forward, they sort of posing some danger to Eswatini, and you can see Eswatini scrambling for cover to ensure that the Seychelles don't put in full one back.
Good physical contest in that midfield. Kimberly just really trying to squeeze that through ball into Mustache.
But Mahasia Lambros unable to keep it in there. I think she should have done better.
Yeah.
I think she was a bit too casual for my liking.
I think one thing that you need to applaud from the Seychelles, I think it's just that bravery from the coach to bring in 15-year-olds, and that's the platform of COSAFA. I think for myself, as well as a former player, this is where you kind of get the exposure.
Yeah, it's where it started for you. I spoke about that strike again. There, it's happening again.
Yep.
It's Kisha Mustache again.
Yep.
Again, doing that, or rather, shooting that good ball. And with a good connection, we could be telling a different story. But yeah, back to your point about youngsters playing the game or even playing at this level. I mean, if you think of South Africa prior to the World Cup in 2019, this was their breeding ground. This is where they actually got all the experience, all the training to ensure that they ready for international football. So COSAFA has really done great. If you think of the likes of Zambia, they've been to the World Cup, recently went to the Olympics, and now we've got players from COSAFA who are playing abroad. Your Rachel, your Barbara Banda, they're all doing very well abroad.
Chawinga, Mikatlana Hilda, those are some of the names that, you know, when you speak about COSAFA, it's definitely an offside. If you speak about COSAFA, you can't not mention those individuals because they've really set the international stage alight.
Yeah, and I heard the Chawinga sisters are not coming. I would have loved to see them, and I'm not saying it's okay, but I would have loved to see them just for them maybe to give back. But obviously we know that they've got other commitments, and it's also an opportunity for other players to raise their hands and come and shine at this tournament.
Of course. Think of shot there, we saw another offside from Eswatini. I think the coaches, I guess in the halftime conversation, halftime chat, that'll certainly be a point to address. Ladies, just hold your line. You're quicker than them. Just hold your line and wait for that ball over the top.
Absolutely. We now almost on the half-hour mark, and still one goal from Eswatini leading this game. As I said earlier, will we see another goal either from Eswatini or the Seychelles? From now, it doesn't look from any team, as we see Eswatini charging there. Good block by the goalkeeper to actually come out from her line and defend that one.
Yeah, very well read. Now Eswatini coming out on this wide flank on the right. Does really well to eliminate an opposition. A good cross. Definitely that goalkeeper, Seychelles Puris, has to do a lot better in cutting out those crosses.
Yes, but also the Eswatini players, they should have been expectant of that ball, because they've seen the Eswatini, the Seychelles goalkeeper, that she's a bit full of mistakes. They should have capitalized on that.
Kwanele Dlamini, for the first time in the game, just going on that overlap, getting that cross, eliminating an opposition. A beautiful cross. That should have been converted.
That should have been converted. They should be 2-0 up by now. The thing with Eswatini is that when they start camping in the Seychelles goalmouth area, they do that. They stay for a while. Whereas the Seychelles only take a few moments, and they take time to get to the other side of the field. So we are just hoping that with this kind of play by Eswatini, they may be able to pull something back before the half is over.
One of the interesting aspects, of course, of COSAFA and the group stages is that if you find a team or you come up with a team like Seychelles who give you those opportunities, you need to make sure you maximize, because the next game that you're going to play, there will be goal differences, there will be goals against. So Eswatini shouldn't rue the chances that they're creating for the latter stages of the group stage.
And that's the nature of tournament football, as we see Seychelles making another mistake there, but able to recover. But yes, their first game is always important, and if you Eswatini and you get a team like the Seychelles where you can get in 3-4 goals, you need to do that, because you don't know what's going to happen against Namibia, you don't know what's going to happen against South Africa. By the time you get to them, you must be a little bit settled somehow.
Eswatini just still dominating that ball possession. A good cross, unattended to. All the time in the world to find a good pass for a teammate. Seychelles come away with it. Missed opportunity for Eswatini.
Again, I think that's a bit disappointing from Eswatini. They had all the chances. I mean, if you look at this move, look at that. good ball going forward. I think she didn't know what to do with the ball, and she just took her time. But when she managed to actually control it, the other player just wasn't quick enough to get in front of the defender there.
Yep. I thought Simelane could have just dealt with that situation a lot better, be a little bit composed, and maybe even fancy a shot at it.
Absolutely, and if you look at the ball possession, 61 to Eswatini, but they still do nothing with it because possession football doesn't win you games.
And you know the cliche of this cruel game that is called football. If you don't maximize on your chances, you will get punished.
Absolutely.
Very brave of the Seychelles to start their build-up from the back with that front press from Eswatini.
I'm also seeing the same thing, and I'm thinking, Eswatini, they've now actually pulled back, and they're allowing the Seychelles to actually start the ball from the back. You're asking yourself, are they tired? Are they trying to reserve some energy?
Beautiful pass, beautiful attempt. We spoke about Alicia. As short as she is, she's got the heart of the lion, and she's been holding that back four very, very solid.
Yeah, I mean, that tackle timely. Had she made a mistake there, I want to believe that Eswatini would have punished them, but she was solid. She made sure that she got the ball, and she got it away from our checker.
Fakudze with the well-delivered corner. The Seychelles do ever so well to defend. Another danger into the area.
Yeah, in fact, they've been doing some good defensive work over the last few minutes. Eswatini has tried almost everything. Look, they've also made some mistakes when they have had a chance to convert. But yeah, really, the Seychelles have been solid in that defense.
Offsides.
I'm looking at the Seychelles defense. I mean, that height. Because there isn't much height in that defense, and I'm surprised why Eswatini hasn't really done much to breach the defense.
That's a good ball, and to the exact person that you need. Mustachi on the ball. Lebros with the cross. Kimberly just not being able to get that second ball.
Yeah, and they don't have enough numbers. But also their striker is as tall as their defender. So it's another challenge for Eswatini going up front because they don't have tall players.
Yeah, Farisha Pierre. Goalkeeper Paris does well to read the danger. Comes out early enough and gets a good solid hand on that.
Yeah, and we see one player down from the looks like suffering from cramps, or was she hit in the back? She's clutching her left side.
And you don't want to see Alicia Matitken on the floor. She's the number 4 who's just been marshalling that back four.
Yeah, and I've been talking about her that she's been doing so well. I'm just hoping that it's nothing too serious, because that could mean Seychelles could be in a bit of trouble.
I think just in the build-up to this match, our presenter Dumeleng Banda downstairs, as we see our officials from Eswatini, surely keeping tabs and just updating everyone in Eswatini. But of course, Itu did allude to the fact with the coach of Seychelles that some of the players maybe would not be able to keep up with the intensity in terms of training and how important that has been for Coach Chris coming into this one where preparation is concerned physically.
Absolutely, and one thing we should not discard and not forget is the size of this pitch. This pitch, however beautiful it is, it's massive, and most likely most of these players are not accustomed to playing in such a big field.
Yeah, well, welcome to the big league. If you really want to shine across the world stages, this is where it starts.
Absolutely. She's on side. Could this be a chance for Eswatini? If it's a good ball. Yep, that was easy as you like it. Well, it appears it's not been given. These Eswatini players are celebrating, not aware of what the referee has seen. There we can see the goalkeeper of Eswatini down, as well as, or rather Seychelles down, as well as a player from Eswatini. We just have to wait to see what really transpired there, because I thought it was a goal, but clearly the referee saw something that we didn't.
Yeah, I think it was just the coming together, the clashing of players in the box when that cross was delivered. It's usually the off-the-ball incidences that we don't usually pay much attention to, but that's why you have FIFA-accredited referee Akona to really spot the danger where we don't.
And she was very near to the action, so well spotted there. There, Amanda, there is that incident. I don't understand why it was not given. Because
You look at that. You look at that boot going into and clashing onto the referee, but I thought it could have stood.
It should have stood, in my opinion, because the ball was already gone, had already gone past the goalkeeper. Had she stopped it and the boot come in, yes, a different story. But from what I see here, I think it should have been given as a goal.
Yeah, I think that should have been a goal. The ball had already passed the goalkeeper as well. No attempt to get into any intervention. But maybe she saw something
maybe
we
she saw
didn't
something
see.
that we didn't.
Yeah.
But I think she made a wrong call there.
Yep. I think the conversation also would be who gets to protect the goalkeeper, if not the referee.
I suppose, but as we say, the ball had already gone past the goalkeeper. So had the goalkeeper made the save, different story. But the goal scorer had really all the time in the world to do what she did, and she scored. I'm just surprised that it wasn't given. There's Alicia back on the field, doing her utmost, and that's an offside.
Nandipa Manenze looking very sharp at offside. I think easiest one to give.
Absolutely easy. I could see it from a mile away. Surely, when Eswatini scored that goal, we thought more were coming. But we're now already on the 40th minute mark with just, under 5 minutes remaining, and still nothing for Eswatini except the one that's just been disallowed.
Goalkeeper Paris with a huge mistake there. Just rushing the ball to her teammates. She should really just be mindful, take her time, last line of defense.
In fact, the mistake started here when she missed that ball. Look at that. She took her time and then she gave it to the opponent. It's unfortunate that Eswatini didn't react too quickly to that. Had they done so, it would have been a different story. Maybe the second goal and this one stood.
It's always so important to read the game, and this is at Eswatini, to just really take advantage of the situation, just capitalize on it. The goalkeeper's not that good at handling, take shots, maximize on the second ball. The defense is a bit slow, they're high, drop your line, get that long ball over the top and run onto it.
Indeed, that's what we saw earlier on, that the Seychelles goalkeeper is a bit shaky.
Yeah.
And we also saw the Eswatini technical team trying to put together a sort of a structure, but I don't see any changes happening here on the field, unless they're waiting for half time to change things in the second half.
Eswatini just now trying to wind the clock, taking things very easy and steady. Patient build up once again.
Yeah, it should be a welcome break to the two teams because they've been running at each other. But with only one goal in the net. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens in the second half.
This is good play from the Seychelles. Just seem to turn over the ball though and just give away possession very cheaply.
That was cheaply given away, and you had a player making a run. If that ball was threaded in nicely, we could be seeing a goal maybe from Eswatini, but unfortunately that ball just given away cheaply.
Yep. And how good do they look when they start passing those balls in midfield? Starting, of course, with the likes of Kimberly in that midfield, connecting with Mustache and really just finding those openings. Florentine as well. We haven't seen much of Florentine in action in that jersey number 6. And they just need to get closer to one another and they look so much better.
They're much better because you can see when they thread those passes, something happens. But it's unfortunate, like I said, maybe it's because of the size of the pitch.
Yeah.
They just can't get to where they want to go in good time. But unfortunately, they have to come up with a plan to ensure that they build it nicely all the way up to the goal, whether the Seychelles goes or the Seychelles going the other way. 3 minutes to be added there by the match officials. And yes, there's that strike. Oh, she managed to do so well.
Yeah.
She did well. Kuchia Ashanta Porris in the Seychelles goal. She did very well. That was a very powerful strike. And she didn't spill it this time around. She keeps the scoreline to 1-0. So 3 minutes added, 30 seconds of that already played. So not much time left. And they'll be going for a break and get new tactics and get new instructions from the technical team.
That's a good ball.
That's a good ball.
It's a good through ball. It's 3v1. Nampalala just taking, I think, a very premature shot in terms of just trying to recycle the ball, get it to a teammate. It's 3v1. You have to make sure you maximize on that opportunity.
No, you have to. I mean, that was a good block by Boniface, number 12. They're doing very well to ensure that no danger comes to her goal mouth.
Gambula seems to be getting much of that ball. And here comes Dlamini in that overlap. Always unexpected, good control. Can she give a good pass? Eswatini do really well to recycle the ball, keep ball possession. But that cross just really not attended to. Paris, an easy pick up for her.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised that Eswatini, as the game comes to a halt, to the break, they trying to push harder. They could have done that in the last few minutes of the game, but only now they only trying to push further to try and see if they can get a goal. Can this be a goal? There we go.
So much better from Ngampalala. And she knows she's had much of a fair of the ball possession on her side, left-hand side, unattended to. Finally gets one in the bag just before halftime. I think that's perfect timing.
Yeah, absolutely perfect timing. They call this one the crucial time when it comes to match situations. If you don't concentrate in these times, in these periods, that's when you're really punished. And she did well by holding that ball for Parala to come and just tuck it nicely underneath the goalkeeper there to make it 2-0 to Eswatini, and Seychelles still 0.
Yeah, Simelane does really well to hold up play, to Coach Bongani's satisfaction and applause. And Palala just being the one to pick up that second ball and convert into the back of the net. And this is the approach for Eswatini. They must just get closer and closer, get that second ball and pray from it. But of course, Coach, there we go, referee Akona says it's enough for this 45. And of course, Eswatini just dominating much of that ball possession and of course the scoreline.
Yeah, I think the coach of Eswatini, Bongani Makukulu, he will be happy with the scoreline, not with the play and not with the fact that they did not score more. But the 2-0 cushion should be good enough to actually give him something to work with coming into the second half. Yep,
well, the second half is going to start just after this break. Of course, to confirm the score lines, Eswatini 2, Seychelles 0. Mr. Clocks, you can chat to me on what you see and what the stats are saying to us.
Yeah, quite surprising that goal attempts are so similar, because I would have thought that Eswatini would have more, but it's clear that they just had most of the possession on midfield. Even the shots on target, clearly it shows that there's really not much difference between the two teams.
Yeah, evenly poised at halftime in terms of stats, but of course Eswatini dominating the better of the stats, and that is the 2-goal margin going into halftime. Them to really showcase what they have in store.
No, absolutely. I know we're going to talk about them more in the next match starting at 5 o'clock. But remember, South Africa had a tough one last edition of this tournament, only managing the group stages. So the real pressure is on them. Oopsie, as we see Eswatini scoring number 7 there. Feliwe Thandazile Nkambule getting that goal for Eswatini. We did say that this goal,
score of this match. And once again, we spoke about Eswatini just camping in the opposition half. A well lobbed cross in there. Goalkeeper should have done well. Goalkeeper Paris should have.
Very terrible mistake by the goalkeeper there. The wet surface and inexperience, remember. It's their first time here, so such things are perhaps to be expected. Let's see if, as I said, whether Eswatini can set this game really on fire.
Nkambule with a beautiful cross ball.
That was a very powerful strike, and I must say, good reaction by the goal. But look at that, just 10 and then that strike, very strong strike, but the keeper, as I said, spilled it, but recovered nicely. And the Eswatini goal, which didn't happen in the early stages of the match. Ooh, that was a wonderful strike there. Great strike there.
Yep. That's Mustaq.
And from the look of things, she's the likely one to score for.
Does really well to eliminate an opposition. A good cross. Definitely that goalkeeper, Seychelles Puris, has to do a lot better in cutting out those crosses.
Yes, but also full of mistakes. They should have capitalized on that.
Kwanele Dlamini, for the first time in the game, just going on that overlap, getting that cross, eliminating across the world stages. This is where it starts.
Absolutely. She's on side. Could this be a chance for Eswatini? If it's a good ball. Yep, that was easy as you like it. Well, it appears it's not been given. There, Amanda, there is that incident. I don't understand why it was not given. Because
You look at that.
Yeah,
you look at that boot going into and clashing onto the referee, but I thought it could have stood.
3 minutes to be added there by the match officials. And yes, there's that strike. Oh, she managed to do so well.
Yeah.
She did well. Kuchia Asha. 3 minutes to be added there by the match officials. And yes, there's that strike. Oh, she managed to do so well.
Yeah.
She did well. Match officials. And yes, there's that strike. Oh, she managed to do so well.
Yeah.
Break. They trying to push harder. They could have done that in the last few minutes of the game, but only now they only trying to push further to try and see if they can get a goal. Can this be a goal? There we go.
So much better from Ngampalala. And she knows she's had much of the fair of the ball possession on her side, left-hand side, unattended to. Finally gets one in the bag just before halftime. I think that's perfect timing.
Yeah, absolutely perfect timing. They call this one the crucial time when it comes to match situations. If you don't concentrate in these times, in these periods, that's when you're really punished. And she did well by holding that ball for Ngapalala to come and just tuck it nicely underneath the goalkeeper there to make it 2-0 to Eswatini, and Seychelles still 0.
Yeah, Simelane does really well to hold up play, to Coach Bongani's satisfaction and applause. Mpalala just being the one to pick up that
Look at that, saved by the upright, but Kampalala said, no ways, we want that goal. The first hat-trick of the tournament.
First hat-trick of the tournament from Ngampalala. And this time she shoots with the right foot. And that is just amazing for a player of this caliber. Have to be ambidextrous at this COSAFA tournament, or any international tournament for that stage. I think Ngampalala has really shown great technical ability.
I think she had me when I was talking about those the goal scorers from the last 5 editions of this tournament. The last editions was 9 by Temwa Chawinga of Zambia. So, can someone surpass that? Let's wait and see. I think Ngampalala is making a stake to that. She's trying to claim it as early on in the tournament.
And this is the thing with COSAFA, you would usually start out as just another player, ordinary player on the park, but your qualities just surface, and this is what you see from Ngampalala. Uses the body really well, body checks, and earns herself another corner kick.
You remember back in the day, we used to say a corner is a goal. We saw one earlier. Can there be another one?
Eswatini just finding the spaces, finding those half spaces, just getting those connections. A well-delivered ball. Seychelles just seem to be struggling with the corner kicks.
Yeah, in fact, they're struggling with set pieces. But then we spoke about their height earlier, or lack thereof, especially in defense. The only tall persons that I see, or tall players that I see, are basically in the center of the park.
There's a moustache there with her height. There's a Fred in defense with her height. And LeBros on the far end. And that's just about it.
Absolutely. But you'd expect when there's a corner kick, they're the ones that actually do the business and ensure that their goal mouth is protected.
Yeah. Well spotted there by Nandipa. Second assistant referee. A tight call there from Gambule, but a well-spotted offside.
Very tight, and yes, indeed, very well spotted there. Must say the match officials have been doing well, but that one mistake that I still think is the mistake, the disallowed goal, but they've been doing very well, the match officials.
Emma just seems to be showing some great qualities here as a lone striker. Good control, close control of the ball at her feet. And just missing that opportunity earlier on. I'm kind of thinking, had she been introduced a lot earlier?
It's clear that the coach knows her very well, but as you say, had she been introduced earlier, maybe it could have been a different story altogether. But now, trailing 5-0 could be a bit of a challenge for them. But then again, they have nothing to lose. So her playing alone up front and trying to take on the Eswatini defense really could, or rather may, come up with something for them, for Seychelles.
Oh, a big mistake from Paris. We spoke about just her handling. One of the easiest that you could pick up from a goalkeeper. Super sub coming in. Noktula Ndlovu bags a free goal for herself. One that Paris should have really dealt with a lot better.
We've spoken about these mistakes, and we did say that she was getting better, she was getting solid. That with the that have been coming through, she's probably slowly lost her confidence, because look at that. That should have been easily dealt with.
Yeah, easy catch all day, every day. There's not that much power to threaten Paris. She seems to get down very well. It's just with those arms, it just goes underneath those arms.
Unfortunately, she didn't have it covered with her body. She just used her arms there and it just slips through. And remember, we did say that it's slippery because it's been raining.
Yeah, I guess that would be a coaching element for any young girls who are watching goalkeepers, just to really put your body firmly behind the ball and just make sure you get a good touch. Paris really just feeling a little bit hard done there.
So it's a case of putting together a video of what not to do as a goalkeeper. Swaziland making the most of this. We did say early on that for them to just 2 goals in the first half was unwarranted because they had many chances. But now they're starting to take those chances. Were they waiting for the second half? What was said in the dressing room? Maybe the coach said, okay, now that you've relaxed, let's go for it now.
Yeah. I think also it's important to pace yourself. Eswatini start off very well, but as the half progresses, it's almost as if they hit a dip. And that's always just the tournament. You sometimes start like that, and as you progress through the tournament, you tend to pick up. Eswatini started off very well in the second 45, but you look at the clock now. They're just starting to dip. As the half goes towards the end, they're just starting to dip.
Another mistake there. Can they be punished for it?
Should have been punished.
The goalkeeper is really struggling today. The Seychelles goalkeeper is really struggling. But then we did say they're making their debut here. So, and lessons to be learned. So we hope that in the next match she'll be much better.
15 goal attempts for Eswatini.
Number.
As they get into this 18-yard, once again a shot. If you're seeing the likes of Sikote in that 18-yard box of Seychelles, then you know once a defender penetrates that box, numerical advantage, they've got all the confidence. They're throwing the numbers forward.
Absolutely, and you can see that they can see more. They can see more goals coming through.
Yep, you really are spot on with that. That they are seeing more goals coming. Everyone is fancying their chances. Here's a Fagudze as well, defender by nature. She finds herself with lots of space, time on the ball. Tries to really cushion it in the top corner of the net, but just misses the target. Seychelles not making anything easy for themselves.
Absolutely not. They're playing with fire there.
Yep. You want to build up from the back, but the passes need to be a little bit firm.
Absolutely. But if you see that you're struggling, try something else, because your kind of game does not play. So change your tactic and hoof the ball forward, and then go contest for it in the middle of the park or even further upfield. But if you try and play in your own box, you just invite in trouble, as you can see now.
Ball possession at 68% for Eswatini, still dominating. The Seychelles with just only 32, and mostly of that 32 ball possession is within their own half.
Indeed, and this has grown rather increased, because earlier it was 39 to the Seychelles. Now it's dropped to 32. It clearly shows that Eswatini is really gaining the upper hand here. I mean, with 6 goals to the good, they'll be more confident than the Islanders.
Eswatini now, just with the confidence, it will be important for them to be a little bit more composed now. It's almost as if everyone wants to try and fancy a chance, which is good, but because they're dominating this game, you just need to be a little bit composed in the box.
Yeah, 74 minutes gone. Eswatini leading by 6 goals to nil. But I must tell you that it's of the highest number of goals scored in one match. That was 17. It was scored by South Africa when they defeated Comoros 17-0 in a Group A clash in 2019. It still remains the biggest scoreline in one match in the COSAFA. So this one's 6-0, so the Seychelles are still good.
And, just a late tackle there from Emma. And well, not to be some type of way, but Seychelles are yet to meet South Africa.
Whoa, yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see, because if you look at the type of lineup that South Africa has, almost could beat any team. But then again, football is different altogether. You have to play to win. You just don't win on paper.
Absolutely. Another set piece from Eswatini.
She actually did well this time
Reese
around.
does well this time around.
Doing exactly the exact opposite of what she did earlier. She had her body behind the ball, and the ball couldn't go through. I mean, look at that.
Good height to that delivery.
Powerful
Kambule with the
shot.
free shot. Just takes it there on the half volley. Reese does well. Really haven't seen much of Lebros on that left-hand side. She seems a little bit isolated as we take a look at an injury here for Eswatini. Utsuba just looks really uncomfortable.
She does. I wonder what happened to her. Lying there and stretcher being summoned. Will she be able to make it? Is there anyone warming up from the Eswatini bench? Not as yet. Maybe it's nothing too serious.
Maybe it's nothing too serious.
Oof, but that was must have hurt.
Those are really painful in this kind of weather.
Especially in this kind of weather.
Boot on your toes. Sure, it's very painful. So I totally understand and feel for her.
And also it didn't look intentional, because remember also the momentum may have taken her, and that's why she stamped onto her. But it must really hurt.
Yep. I think this would definitely be the best time opportunity to ring in those changes as the ladies keep themselves entertained. It's quite cold, so.
Yeah, and what I hear is that schools have been cautioned to close early because of the persistent rain, and some areas been flooded. So that is why we're seeing some of the kids, school kids here attending.
Oh, beautiful pass from Kambule.
How do you miss that?
Should have been converted. Should have been converted.
Absolutely. I don't even think she gave it some power there. I think she was trying to control it.
Yeah. Another break coming out from that reference or that outlet that is Nkambule. Gives a good cutback to a teammate. Should have demanded better control.
Yep.
From Similane. Reese looks really uncomfortable collecting that ball.
Yeah. It appears she was in some sort of discomfort there. Hope it's nothing serious, because if she's in goals, it means she's their best.
Good sprint from Kambule. She's always that outlet, cuts in. No one there to get that cut back. Second ball falls on Ndlovu.
Unfortunately wide over the bar there. So she could have done better. I think with better control, could have gone straight to goals, and we've seen the keeper in action. I don't think she would have been able to deal with that one. We did talk about these mistakes from the Seychelles. They're making things difficult for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, they 6 goals down. They should be either trying to minimize the damage or trying to get more goals, but what they are doing is just inviting trouble.
Here's Lebros trying to get that ball forward. Just puts too much power for any of her teammates, Emma or even Mustashi, to run onto. Eswatini's goalkeeper, Dlamini, easy pickings for her. She hasn't been
two players on each side coming on. Whether they'll make changes or not remains to be seen. But yeah, it's here that the coaches have seen enough of their players. They just want some changes and see if they can change the complexion of the game.
Yep. Speaking of those changes, Seychelles is going to be the first one to make that change. Lebros to make way. Correa is the one to step on. 80-minute Can she have an impact? Can she have that kind of change that the coach is looking for? Alicia steps out. I thought she gave a good account of herself to allow, of course, jersey number 9, Cheryl Benoit, to come in, hopefully have the impact that the coach desires.
Yeah, Alicia gave a kind of herself there in the Seychelles defense. She worked tirelessly. But I remember at some point she was clutching her back there. So I think, as we can see, that Nkambule taking the place of Samkelisiwe for Kudze. So let's see what she can for Eswatini.
Here's Emma now on the run. Very explosive in terms of just the speed up front as the lone striker.
In fact, Emma has been problematic since she came on. You can see that since her appearance here, the Eswatini defense has basically been has been watching things really tight. That mistake again from the goalkeeper. What is really going on with the goalkeeper?
Nervy moments every time
nervy moments
the ball
indeed.
goes to the goalkeeper.
Oh,
Jamini herself.
Jamini.
Just a number of errors I think both teams will really want to eradicate and work on for the next game. I think a better opportunity for the Seychelles coach to get the good kind of combinations, maybe even in the next starting 11. In terms of just maybe even starting Emma, being paired up front with a Pierre. You have a Moustache in midfield, there's a Kimberly. And I think with just that 4 up front, you can try and salvage something.
I think she can give them something, especially Emma. And as I said, she's been giving the Eswatini defense sleepless nights since she's been on the field. So I'm hoping that in the next match they'll start her and maybe she can make a difference for the Islanders, because at the moment she's just a lone fighter there and really not getting much from her teammates.
Another promising attack from Eswatini. Cut back from Nkambule. It almost seems like the Seychelles have read it.
Yep, good cover defense from the Seychelles, because Nkambule really had them in 6s and 7s there.
Good change in attack from Eswatini. Doesn't materialize to something that they would have wanted in attack. Sigurd just giving that one away. And as you thought that Seychelles would regain ball possession, it's another turnover.
It's another turnover. But what I've seen now is that since the changes that have been made, the game has changed slightly. It's no longer fluid enough from both teams. You can see that the players that went off were the ones that were holding the nucleus of the team, but now you can see that those that came on are still trying to find their feet, and that is why there is not much fluidity in the match so far.
Coach Chris, a former national team player of Singapore as well. It would have been interesting to see what her philosophies and what her playing style as a midfielder and her influences in the Seychelles team would be like. I mean, you're looking at players like Moustache, of course, we've been talking about, or Kimberly. They've got those qualities of midfielders who know how to just pull the strings in that midfield.
Is it always the case that if you were a former player in defense or in goal, you associate more with the players that are in your position?
So if you were defending dogs, I know that our team was going to play to defend. Me, attack. Also, you must have players that have got flavor, you know, show the skills and, you know, give it up as a ball and let's see what you got.
5 miles or more.
So we're just on the 85th minute mark, just under 5 minutes to regulation time. Eswatini just leading the match 6-0 very comfortably, so cruising, of course, at these stages. And hopefully Seychelles can keep things as is.
Absolutely, because they'll need all the composure they can get in the next game, in their next match when they play again in this competition. And remember, when you look at the fixtures, it's going to be from tomorrow, it's going to be Madagascar versus Mauritius, that's Group B, and then Malawi versus Botswana, all happening at the Kelvindale Stadium, and then Zambia versus Angola, and that's Group C, and then Group D, the big one, Mozambique versus
That was a close one. You speak of Zimbabwe, and I know Zimbabwe as well would really come for revenge. I remember our times with Zimbabwe as we look at this well-floated ball. It's a set piece once again from Ngambalala, who I think has a good technique in delivering those balls. Paris once again tested with her handling, misses it completely. But of course the defense of Seychelles just clears their lines.
Yeah, Boniface recovered very quickly there because the ball hit her back, and she was able to turn and just clear it away, despite the attention of two attackers next to her.
Here's Ngambalala deployed now on the right-hand side.
Good turn, unfortunately, didn't get the direction it needed.
Mark's just apologizing there for that wayward sort of shot. Seychelles with an incoming sub. Francois is the one to take the pitch and come on for Annalise Fred. Annalise Fred held her own as well. He spoke about their height just as players in profile. Francois just coming in for the last few minutes.
Yeah, that's the last of the dice there. See if it will make a difference.
It's like for like, so I guess it's just to really try and keep things solid or cement things in defense. I mean, it's 6-0, but why not give them a run?
Why not give them a run? Because, as I said, Namibia, the Seychelles rather, is up against Namibia in their next match. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how South Africa and Namibia fare this afternoon. And then we'll see the next Group A matches later in the week.
Great through ball from Eswatini. There's Ndlovu as well, super sub with a goal to her name. Judged to a handball. Ndlovu on screen. Immediately when she came on, I think she's had 2 shots to her boot, and one of those was a goal.
And then when she came on, she did all those things. I was wondering to myself, why didn't they use her earlier? But then maybe she's your super sub.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 89 minutes, maybe a minute to go under, and we're not done yet in this Group A matchup. South Africa and Namibia are yet to come. That will be a very interesting battle at 5 o'clock. Will South Africa be able to dominate this fixture? While the Seychelles are still really trying to clear their lines, hoping that they don't add any other goal to the 6.
Very interesting match that's coming up there. The hosts hoping to do well from what they did last year, and also the 2 coaches that are here currently from Eswatini and the Seychelles will be watching with interest to see how that match ends up.
There's our indication, 90 minutes plus 3 minutes now to be added. 3 minutes to be added. 3 more minutes for Eswatini to add 3 more goals.
Yep, we saw it happen, but it was just 1 goal just before the the halftime mark. So can Eswatini do it again and get their 7th, 8th, or 9th?
It's a good test now. This is for Seychelles, for players like Clara. Young players making their debut as well in the national team, just to test themselves amongst the best. And hopefully just to get a little bit of mileage and a little bit of a run into the next match.
And it's this kind of run that really goes a long way, because you're not under pressure. You're making your debut. You're playing at a magnificent field, and you're also playing Eswatini, not as yet playing your Mozambique, your Malawi, your South Africa. So it's a good testing ground for them, and also for the coach to say, how are my players doing? How will they fare in the next match? Of course, we know that the Seychelles is up against Namibia in their next game.
Seychelles just cleaning things up. Boniface has really been impressive as well in that heart of defense. A long range shot. Undlovu knows that it's going to trouble the goalkeeper, Paris. Gambule trying to get that second ball, hoping to get a penalty.
But fortunately, the referee was right in front of the action, so she saw everything. I think Gambule was trying to sell the match official the dummy there, and Akona said, nothing, no ways, not today.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not buying it. What is impressive for me as well, especially at this late stage of the match, is to see Eswatini constantly attacking. They're not sitting back saying we've got 6 goals in our advantage, but they keep on going. They want more goals, which is clear that it's an instruction from the bench to say, go for more goals. We're still going to meet South Africa, we're still going to meet Namibia, and who knows, if we're out of the group, we'll go there to the next phase with more confidence.
Yep. Goalkeeper Paris from the Seychelles has really been under the spotlight with her handling and the number of goals that have gone in. Some she could have saved, but some are pure quality. Here's another cross from Eswatini, unmarked. Marks just missing a free header. Well, there we have it. 90 minutes plus 3 added minutes. Referee Akona Makalima says that is enough. Coach Bongani from Eswatini bench will be really impressed just the way in which her charges went through. Mpalala, our first hat-trick scorer of this tournament 2024 HollywoodBets COSAFA Women's Championships. As the Seychelles bench looks on in admiration of their girls, they would be impressed of just the fight, the spirit, but of course not really much of the result.
Yeah, not the result they wanted, but they were making their debut. What a baptism of fire for them. But it's clear that in their next game, I think they'll be much better, because there'll be lessons taken here. And you saw that bench, they were not complaining or anything. You can see that they're happy that their players got a run. As we can see, the confirmation of a score, Eswatini 6 and the Seychelles 0.
And as we take a close look at the stats, goal attempts 22 to Eswatini and only 5 to Seychelles. Of the 22, 6 goals scored. Shots on target 12 and only just 1 for the Seychelles. Ball possession dominated by Eswatini at 73% and only 27% for Seychelles. And it's with those corners that Eswatini really made the mark. Well, as we wrap up in our commentary booth, we would like to hand over to Itumeleng Banda, who's pitch side, to really get us in on who is the Diski Queen, or the lady of the match, and how the match has gone for both coaches. Itu.
Well, thank you so much, Amanda. As it's the same, that's the first championship 2024. And if that's anything to go by, we're expecting so many goals within this competition. It is Eswatini 6 for Seychelles. And for now, though, let's see as to who the player of the match is. It's going to be handed over by the chairperson of the Sports and Recreation Committee in the Nelson Mandela Bay region, that being Councillor Basikomana. And as you can see, it's Mpalala who got herself a hat-trick, the first of this competition. A handover will get to keep. Now to have a conversation with Ngampalala, you've been absolutely exceptional. Let's talk about how this game was for you.
At the start, I was not playing well, but with time I get into form. Then after all, this game, the sneaky confidence going forward in the tournament. Yes.
Your confidence, right? What did coach say to you guys at the halftime? Because many would say that so many other goals were supposed to be scored in that first half.
Dressing room, we need more goals because the game, fine, we're not sure how Seychelles will approach the game. Then coach Watsi abasi lendlele besibaqaba ngayo, so we have to put more pressure going forward, and we're lucky enough we made it.
Let's now have a conversation with the coach of the Seychelles, Coach Chris. She did say that she comes with a very small squad, so let's find out. Coach, a very tough one for you. Your thoughts on the game?
I think it's our first time, so we do not get such opponents back home. So I thought it was a really good experience for the girls, and I think most of my young ones got a good run out. So as everybody knows, right, Rome wasn't built in a day. So we are on our pathway with our plan, and of course this will not be our final. No, will not be our last participation. So you can expect more to see from the Seychelles.
Definitely more to see. I want to go back to that first half because after Eswatini scored, it looked like your team was getting into the game. Let me know as to what was done right and where did the concentration get lost?
Oh, I think the major factor was when the first goal went in, we were all like, okay, it's just early in the games. So we were still very motivated. But I think the temperature changes really affected us. So as you know, Seychelles is a sunny island, 30 degrees, and coming here was a huge challenge, and plus the rain. So it made it really cold, and our players find it a bit hard to adapt. But we hope that in the days to come, we will be better acclimatized.
Well, Coach, tough luck.
Thank you.
That is Coach Chris of the Seychelles saying that the climate had definitely an influence on this game. As you know, out in the Seychelles, it is all sunny and dry. Now for Coach Bongani, who was very quiet within the first half. And then in the second half, Coach, your thoughts on the game, please.
The game went according to plan because we didn't know what to expect there, what to meet. But then, like I said in pre-match interview, that we were expecting them to sit a little bit more. That is, they're giving us a low block. So we had to adapt because we had also anticipated that we were going to sit, but then we then resorted into high pressing, of which it helped us. And also the condition, it was a little bit slippery, and we used that to our advantage.
Coach, there was something going on the sidelines. Just explain to me what's your relationship with the technical team.
I can't answer that one. I'm not sure what the Portleys was. Okay, the Portleys probably were discussing it was tactical. It was tactical more than anything. There was nothing sinister about them. Yes.
And Coach, the combinations that we saw work out for you today, how satisfied are you with those?
Well, you are never satisfied until the end of the tournament. I still have to go back and just some few loose ends and then make sure that everything is okay. Yes, they gave their best, they tried. But I feel there's still room for improvement, especially with the finishing aspect. We could have buried the game even before halftime. But we had to to be sluggishly a bit. Yes.
Well, Coach, congratulations. First one, first hat-trick.
Thank you.
That is Coach Bongani. All smiles for him and Eswatini as they secure themselves that 6-0 victory up against the Seychelles. First game done and dusted. That is for Group A. The next game is going to kick off at 5 p.m. It will see the hosts, that being South Africa, go up against Namibia, a nemesis that they know fairly well. You want to make sure that you go nowhere, but also on social media. Share with us your favorite moments of this competition and let's get that conversation going. Because as you know, women's football is not just a sport that we celebrate and we also watch during this time of the COSAFA Women's Championship. It's something that is ongoing as we're igniting change and inspiring the next generation. Go nowhere. We'll see you at 5.
Allow them to really showcase what they have in store.
No, absolutely. I know we're going to talk about them more in the next match starting at 5 o'clock. But remember, South Africa had a tough one last edition of this tournament, only managing the group stages. So the real pressure is on them. Oopsie, as we see Eswatini scoring number 7 there. Feliwe Thandazile Nkambule getting that goal for Eswatini. We did say that this match, if it gets a goal, things are going to happen. So let's wait and see. Is this the first goal, or will the Seychelles return and equalize? They could have done that in the last few minutes of the game, but only now they're only trying to push further to try and see if they can get a goal. Can this be a goal? There we go.
So much better from Mpalala. Mpalala with the delivery. Yay!
Unmarked there.
Yeah.
It was always coming.
Captain Nkambule at the back post. Converts, unmarked, a free header. She goes out and becomes that lone striker at the top. Corner delivered by Eswatini.